that does not mean you've done something wrong. Shout out to the people that's knowing their lock journey, thinking about getting locks. Um, to be really transparent with you guys, hello, good evening. How are you guys? Hope all is well. Make sure you like, subscribe, you know the vibe. Um, just want to talk to my people out there who are just new on this journey. The stage where your locks look messy is actually when they're starting to form. I mentioned this prior, so that's a great phase to be in, and you don't need to worry. Like if you hear anything, just know that when your locks start looking a little bit difficult, that's your locks, doing what they have to do. That's them actually taking on the appearance of forming. So you're lucky on that one. I want to explain a little bit though. I feel like, sometimes we gotta explain, I guess, the little details, and just understand, like, what's going on here? Like, what is she talking about? I specifically feel like, again, I felt left out. I felt confused. I felt frustrated, annoyed, irritated that I had no control over like how my locks were looking, how they were forming, the shapes they were taking on, the sizes. Like I had no control over that. Once it started doing what it was doing, it just, like I said before, went left, went right, went this way, went that way, and I could not control it. It was plenty of times where I just felt like initially nothing is happening, everything looks the same, my locks don't like no one else's locks, to the next phase of I can't control it, it's doing too much, I don't like it, it's making me feel ugly, I think it looks ugly, and pretty much I don't know if I can deal with this. I don't know if this is what I signed up for. Like it moves fast, but in the moment when it's just out of control and looking wild, it's really scary out there. It's really scary. Like you really start to feel like maybe I can't do this. Maybe this is not for me. You really get that feeling like maybe I cannot pull this off and this is a big mistake. And maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys don't feel that way, but I definitely felt that way. I definitely felt like, wow, if this lasts any longer than I'm comfortable with, this may have to come all out. Like I may have to take all of my hair out and just go back to being loose natural. And I wasn't sure if wanted to do that really. So anyway, I had a lot of negativity, a lot of doubt, and I couldn't see the future. I couldn't see the progression fast enough, and I just felt like maybe, I should stop. Maybe I should just, cut my hair and do a different style, or maybe I should just do something that's a little bit more exciting, and more tameable. Like, start putting weaves in my hair and wigs and just investing in like, the best. But that wasn't smart. That's why I got to be natural, and that's how I got to be in lock because those all was just a waste of money, and I knew why I wanted to have locks because I wanted to have a hairstyle that would work with me, and that would be budget friendly, and I just learned that patience. Patience was essential. Patience was necessary. Didn't have a lot of it, but I gained it pretty quickly, and even during the times where I felt like this is a hot mess. This don't look like it's doing anything. I definitely made sure to tell myself, you are beautiful from inside and without. Your hair does not define you. Just 'cause you have a bad hair day doesn't mean that, you're ugly or it may not blossom or you may not blossom or you may not grow into it. It doesn't mean any of those things. So I had to have a lot of reassurance conversations with myself, mentally, internally. I had to talk to my lactician a lot to make sure that, I was getting reassured of my progress on my journey. I had to make sure that, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was doing everything right. And that, I didn't mess up anything. And, while my loctician constantly, reinforced that everything was good, there were times where I felt like it wasn't because I felt like, again, I didn't look like this person. I look like that person. So I was a little bit insecure. I was a little bit worried. I had a great day. Thank you for checking in with me, Evelyn. Thank you for popping by my channel. Shout out to everybody. I'm definitely going to get to you guys. I want to just get this out there, but thanks for the love. Um, and it just sucks. It's a sucky feeling. It feels like, you're the only one that can't get right. You're the only one who, are not progressing. You're the only one that, is looking disheveled. And honestly speaking, we're all looking like that. We're all looking like that. We're all looking disheveled. We're all looking uneasy. We're all looking messy. We're all looking fuzzy bud hair. We're all looking like that. And it's not just you, it was me too, like looking a hot mess. The worst part of it, I couldn't see my parts. Like right now, I can see my parts. During the beginning of the lock journey, my hair was so busted in the beginning phases that I couldn't even see my parts. And that was the most stressful part for me because when I couldn't see my parts, I automatically felt like, ew, my hair looks ugly. Ew, it's messy. It's not fresh no more. It needs to be retwisted. I need to get it done. I need to try to fix it. I need to like, twist it back up so it can look nice. And that wasn't a good thing, but I did that a lot. And I learned the hard way that no matter how much you try to fix it and retwist it and get it done again, like it's gonna continue to be messy. It's gonna continue to be. It's gonna continue to do what it's gonna do because that's the part when your locks actually forming. Those messy moments, those funky, weird moments where it looks ugly, you don't feel confident. Those are the moments where your locks are actually progressing and they're locking internally. They're budding. They're getting those long rods throughout different parts of your hair, and it's forming, but you can't see it on the outside. But if you touch it, you can feel it. And you can't control that part because that's the structure, that's the foundation, that's the form happening. You can't do nothing about that. But how you feel about that is totally different. You may feel insecure, you may feel shy, you may be ashamed, you may not want to go out in public, you may want to put on the hat, you may want to put on scars, you may want to do all of those things. So that's what I wanted to do because I didn't like it. Um, but again, as I said, like it was actually locking and forming, doing everything it was supposed to do at the time. And I didn't know that initially because I couldn't control it. It didn't look cute. It didn't look neat to me. So I'm like, oh, this is whack. This is ugly. Like, oh, like, hope this period passes soon so I can look normal like the rest of the dreadlock people. I hope, it finishes this process so I can look like the regular lock people. People can know I have locks and people know that I'm just not looking like a homeless bum or anything like that. They know that eventually it's going to look pretty and uniform and nice like this. But in the beginning, no, it didn't look like that at all. Um, Thank you. It didn't look like that. And again, the texture change eventually, what was actually happening, the texture was changing. On the inside, the texture was changing. On the outside, the texture was changing. But I didn't know that. It was getting thicker, it was getting heavier, it was getting fuller. But I didn't realize that. I focused on all the negative things and none of the positive things, to be transparent with you. And it sucked because it just dug into my insecurities of me being an insecure woman for whatever reasons. But again, once the texture changed, that's when I know it's on the right track. When the texture changed, I got hype. When the texture changed, I'm like, yeah, like my natural hair was never. Thank you. This is the burgundy. My natural hair was never that kinky coily. So when I lost my kinks, when I lost my shine, when I lost my natural coils and it just started looking really rough and hard, I knew I was on the way. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. This means I'm on the way. This means that my locks are progressing. This means that all that work was for nothing. This means that I needed to just be patient on the journey. This means that it was doing what I had to do. And I was just being that impatient little bee. I ain't gonna say the other word. Unstable creature. I was just being an unstable creature, just not wanting to wait and wanted to have my results instantaneously, just being impatient. But the message of the story tonight is just because it looks messy doesn't mean it's not working. The messy part is the part that lets you know you're on the right path. The messy part is the part that lets you know you've made it. The messy part is the part that lets you know you can obtain locks. The messy part is the part that lets you know you're in that initial transitional phase of it starting to get that dreadlock rough coarse texture. Like that's the best part in the world, but we don't know it because we just want what we want. But it's the best part in the world because you've made it. You've made it. As soon as it starts fighting back, sticking left, sticking right, not want to lay down, feeling tender and sore and having little tender head moments, and it's just looking dry and dull, and you can't do nothing to style it. You've made it home, girl. You've made it home, boy, sister, brother, cousin, friend, new sub, day one sub. You made it when you get to that point, and it's like, am I Kanye West? You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. And again, I know some people may feel like, why do you want that kind of hairstyle? Is what I want. Teach his own. That's just what I desire. We all have different desires out here. Oh, thank you, third. I want to just check out the chat right now. Shout out to everybody who's here with me. Hello guys, good evening. For those of you who are new here, you know I definitely do my lives every Monday night at 8. These are like short lives, and I'm gonna do long lives once a month. That'll be a little bit longer. But what I do want to let you guys know before I wrap this up, I'm about to head out. This is a short live. Definitely check the link in my bios, read my description. I have an ebook out on Amazon. It's called What Mattered and What Actually Didn't Matter in My Life Journey. You can also get that ebook on Gumroad, a downloadable PDF if you don't have a Nook or a tablet or any of those electronic devices. We can actually read, you know, in the palm of your hand. You can actually get it on a downloadable link at Gumroad. Fair price to let you know, if you're really serious about this journey, really think about this journey, you know what you need to know before you even sit into your stylish chair. Before you go to the loctician or the stops will do your hair, gives you all the blueprints of everything you may need to know, from what size is my locks going to be, what grid pattern am I going to be, you know, do I want free form, you know, what kind of, do I want wicks, do I want sister locks, you know, do I want natural locks, you know, it tells you all of those things, all the decisions you need to make, lets you know what to get yourself into before you say, okay, I want locks. So that's from me to you. Definitely check that out if you want locks. You know, somebody who is thinking about getting locks. You know, you're just curious about the culture and the hairstyle. You know, itself. You know, that is definitely for you. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for rocking out, vibing with me. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Third World Colombian, my fellow tourists, as our season soon. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Frank Nice 9520. As well as Evelyn U6N2B. Thank you guys for rocking out. This is my short live. You know, let you guys know you okay. You ain't do nothing wrong. The signs are what I said. And again, you may not have all the signs, but you're guaranteed to have at least one of them. And once you see one of them signs I mentioned, go back and replay this if you need to. That means you're on the way. Peace out. Have a great night. Love you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You know, definitely check out my recent content. And I'll talk to you guys later.